Welcome back. Thank you for coming back, and I am so appreciative of all of you that continue to watch my. So here we have a rectangle, and I am going to trim it so one side has a flat edge at the bottom and the other side has a little bit of a flat edge at the top. I'm going to do Skinner blends. So here I am going to trim a triangle along the same edges. It's kind of a almost triangle shape anyway. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. So from here, I take the two pieces, I invert them, I press them together on the seam so it makes a nice wide rectangle, and then I'm going to feed it through the pasta roller multiple times. It's called the Skinner blend. I do have a tutorial on this that I'll leave in the description box, but I fold it in half this way. Here is my Skinner blend, and it's going from dark to light yellow. And the colors that I used in this is the lighter color gold from Premo, the translucent Premo, which is the majority of what it is, and a tiny bit of yellow. So I used that in the darker yellow. The paler one is mostly translucent with a little bit of white and that paler gold color. So I'm just rolling it. And I know it's hard to see because I'm rolling it with my finger as I go. And I'm rolling it, trying to keep any air bubbles from getting into it, putting pressure on the sides as I go. With a lot of translucent. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, this is the first time to wrap our little spiral cane that we made with the Skinner blend. So here we go. So after I wrap it all the way, we trim the edges and we start making our flower. That will then become a honeycomb. So here I measured my rolls and I'm cutting them into thirds because our flower cane needs 6 petals and 1 center. To actually try to conserve, I decided to roll the center in just the darkest gold color. I don't think it's going to be too distracting or anything. And then from here we're going to place our cane together. So here we're going to have 3 on each side of our circle. Okay, so this is how it's going to start. I'm going to try to go ahead and get all of the nice little air bubbles out by condensing, squeezing very gently, but working the air bubbles out by squeezing from the center out towards the outsides. So here is the sides of our cane, and it pretty much got smushed into a hexagon in the center from putting the 6 around it. So if you've been able to condense it without it getting too round on the edges and it still has the hexagon shape, I'd even say that you can trim them and stack them to make more of a honeycomb right away. What I'm going to do here is actually start trying to make a hexagon shape. So what I'm doing is I'm laying it on its side, and I'm going to very gently roll the one side of it. Then I'm going to turn it over and roll on the other side. I'm going to put it on the other side now and continue. And if they were somewhat even, it should start forming your hexagon shape when you roll. And with you roll it, slice it, and we're going to go ahead and place it to make the honeycomb more of a honeycomb than just a flower. So here I've continued, and I got it 7 inches in length, and I'm going to cut it in 7 equal pieces. I'm going to flip them over each time I cut them to try to keep from distorting it too much. Just marking it on each side. Okay, so here are our little honeycomb pieces.
What happened? What happened to it? No.
So basically, here we go. It's larger, and I'm going to start condensing it down like I did the other one, trying to find the best positions for them. I'm trying to squish out all the air. So what do you think? Does it look kind of like honeycomb? Basically my best. I'm going to elongate the cane as I go. Then I will start rolling to condense, and we will see how much of the honeycomb has kept its shape once we slice into the inside. I'm going to roll it probably till it's about that big, and then we're going to chop into it. So I tried to keep it in a hexagon shape as much as possible. Then I'm going to take a slice and if it gets distorted, just kind of spread it out a little bit. Keep the shape as much as possible. And then we're going to shape it. It's going to be hard to do this on my finger. But basically on the paper, I was using a small ball tool to make indents in all the holes. And on the paper, you could do this much deeper. It kind of wiggles around on my finger. But basically I'm putting little holes in the darker areas that we created. And those are going to be the little pockets of the honeycomb that the bees leave their honey in. So I just continue hollowing out the holes, and once you have them all together, you can start even making the white parts more delicate by starting to tap them in more and elongating all the holes, making all the holes larger. So I'm going to continue to do that, and after that I trim it into a rectangular shape, which you can always leave it the octagon shape, that's perfectly fine, but I trimmed it so the sides aren't all white. And then I also created, as you can see, this one's pretty deep. From here we're going to add some honey. Okay, so home stretch here, guys. Here you're going to have to decide if you want something richer or darker. This one looks like a nice golden color. This is Pearl X, and it's Aztec Gold. Another option would be Spiced Pumpkin or any sort of orangey, rusty kind of color of powdered food coloring. The Pearl X, of course, is just at Michael's, but I took some Fimo Deco Gel. You could also use TLS for this. And I mix it up to try to get a nice honey color. In some of these little tiny pockets. And I'm probably going to try to make sure I don't fill the pockets up to the top, because I want it not to cover up the whole texture that we created. But you may want to have it a little drippy, at least in one or two areas, and then have a touch in the others, but not enough to fill up the holes all the way. And then we'll bake it. I'm going to bake this